can't help but feel this is Ethan's fault.
Maybe.
No, that's my constant feeling all the time. I'm just kidding.
I like literally just got home from work.
All right, we're live now.
Okay,
It's live.
it's
All
real.
right.
It's real this time.
We're gonna try this
real.
again.
All right, we're doing it live. Okay. Well, welcome everyone to back to ANITUBE CON 2020. This is the Isekai panel, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Before we begin, I want to express and remind everybody that there is links in the description below for COVID and BLM support foundations that you can donate to. The Tiltify links are in the description. You know, during these times, we want to give back to the causes that matter to everyone literally around the world. And even if you don't have anything to give, I know economic times are hard for a lot of people. Share it, link it, retweet it, whatever you got to do to get the word out. We've had an incredible response just in day one, and day two is about to get better. So, like I said, Isekais, that's what we're talking about today. Before we get into it, introductions are in order. I am your host today, Professor Ricky from the Weebology podcast. Joined with me is my partner in crime and research, Professor Ethan.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah. We got JD from Tick Games Network.
What's popping, everybody?
We got Sam from Anime Summit.
Hello.
We have LKF Ashes from Project Manga.
Salutations.
And we have Sam the Manga Man from Anime Lately.
How's it going, guys?
It's glad to have all of you here. And we cannot forget about our streaming extraordinaire, Legend D-Vash, also from Anime Lately. Thank you again. We literally could not do this without you. Yeah, so literally we couldn't. So I'm just going to dive right into it. You know, Isekais, it's what we're here to talk about. But I want to get the elephant in the room out first. You know, Isekais has kind of been given this bad rap for flooding the anime space with just dozens and dozens of possibly mediocre shows. So I wanted to start out by asking y'all, do you think that this inundation of Isekais in the anime space is good for that genre or bad? Is it kind of saturating the market so no one stands out? Or is that overabundance causing studios and writers to have to stand out in creative ways?
Trash.
Damn.
No, this is the same. Excuse me. This is the same discussion that we had 5 years ago about moe slice of life anime or idol anime. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like this is like
yeah.
These are these cute girls with the different colored hair and high school club bullshit is flooding anime right now. You know, and now it's Isekais. And back then I was talking shit, and but I came to love them. And like with Isekais, I loved them, and then I came to kind of be like, okay, yeah, this is getting like, you know, some of the later ones obviously like it's what's popular now. You know, you kind of can't help it. A lot of light novel writers are just on it right now. You know.
Sure. I mean, but again, like
I think I'm gonna go ahead real quick. I think it opens, you know, with so many, it opens the channels for sort of a paradigm shift where you can refine, you know, what it is to be an isekai. I like a few shows recently have been able to kind of throw away all the early stuff and say, everyone knows what an isekai is. Let's just start the show, you know, just sort of like distill down what it is to be an isekai and, you know, take some of the good parts, leave some of the bad parts. I think that's, you know, when you see an inundation like this, you're able to kind of do that a little bit better.
Is anyone pissed off that there's so many isekais?
I'll say it.
Yeah, JD, state your case. Go for it.
Let them know.
I love isekais, okay? But the problem is, it's too fucking many. And not only is it too many, it's too many ones that are trash and mediocre. Right. And there's not enough good quality series. And that's the problem. And
because of the oversaturation, the quality's
right.
Yeah,
and that's because of that, and that's why the genre in itself gets a bad rap from a lot of fans who watch anime. And we all know isekai is like when you bring up an isekai, like for instance, let's say Sayo. A lot of people hate Sayo, a lot of people love it, but Sayo isn't the worst isekai you've ever seen in your life.
Right?
No, sir, it is not. Absolutely not.
It deserves all of the hate and the love. It's perfectly balanced.
John Cena. That's John Cena right there. You can either hate him, you can either love him, but everybody likes to see him.
Sao is the John Cena.
Or they can't see him. Or they can't see him, but you know.
The John Cena of isekais. Are you kidding?
Wow.
It's not a bad analogy, but I guess my opinion on the matter is, I mean, it's that oversaturation that made other people sit down and be like, all right, how do we stand out? You know, it's not enough anymore to say, oh, we're an isekai, we're fresh, right? It's got to be something different. I have to have a hook. And some hooks get shitty from, oh my God, I just have a smartphone, to a total reconstruction of what isekais can be, and everything in between. So, I mean, I think it's good and bad for the space, and I'm excited to see maybe less saturation, but more of a we have to refine to even stand out anymore. What are you going to do?
I would say I agree with you because I just watched a lot of isekai and I feel like most of them were fairly different. There's a couple that were pretty similar, but I feel like a lot of them had very different concepts. Whether or not those worked out, it's not exactly all there sometimes. But I feel like there's a lot of difference between two of them.
I mean,
they give it their best shot.
For me, how I see Isekai, it's just a platform or it's just a setting. Whatever you do with the Isekai anime or platform is up to you. Whatever genre you add into it. Like we see a lot of action and adventures Isekais, and we enjoy action. We love the video game concept added into Isekai. But then there are other different genres that can be put into this, like such as the animes that's out right now is Ascendance of the Bookworm or My Next Life as a Villainess. They have nothing to do with action adventures, but they are isekais. They are harem isekai in their own way of Otamo games, and they have their own like discovery of self-building, like a business kind of thing of building up. So isekai doesn't only like sticks with just action adventure, needs to be like a video game base. It could just be any other genre that we ever want onto. It's just another world, as the isekai translation is. Like whatever genre that you want, that you like in general, just all right, I know I live in this crappy world that we live in right now. Can I live in a different world? Sure, why not? That's the story that you want to go into.
Sure, read this book.
Yeah, go read this book. Go get hit by this truck. It's fine. Go get trampled over by a mountain of books.
Truck get stabbed in the middle of the street.
That's also a question I want to know. Why everybody got to get hit by a truck or get stabbed?
Truck-coon? Fucking truck-coon, dude?
There is a show. There's a show I want to see where the truck goes to hit somebody and the truck itself crashes, and then Truck-coon gets transported instead of the person that's gonna hit.
Whoa, that's pretty meta.
It's all about Truck-coon in a world of cars. It's an isekai world of cars.
Have them all flashback of, damn, all these lives that I've done to transport these people, but now I got transported.
It's the same truck.
in another world with my semi.
Dude,
Dear serial killer semi.
Well, even the truck trope thing is like going into other genres now, because like Zombieland Saga is like a it's an idol show, and they had the Truck-coon thing. Yeah, so it's fucking.
That's one of the most famous modern Truck-coons, the Zombieland Saga.
There's that GIF, you know, just
yes. But is it like the first minute, and it's just like, oh, this is gonna be a beautiful show. Boom, you're done.
Until Disney bought the rights for it and added into their Cars series and things like that.
Speaking of Queen.
Let's not even bring that up.
But I mean, this whole discussion leads into something I think is a bigger discussion. That a lot of people have a different definition for isekai. Where do you guys draw the line? What defines an isekai? Does the world have to be real? Can it be virtual? Do you have to be teleported there? Where do you stop? Where does it not be an isekai anymore?
So for me, a trip to the bathroom for me is isekai. No, I'm just kidding. Like the first. So whenever I first heard the term, which like back. So when I started on my podcast, when we started, one of our ex-hosts, like he used to do like short anime videos. Like, you know, like like other AniTubers did. And one of the things he talked about was called gamified worlds. And for that video, I think he just specifically talked about ones where they went into a video game, or it was somewhat like a video game. The first time I heard the term isekai, I that's what I thought it was. It was just going into a video game. I didn't necessarily think it was like going into a whole other world. Yeah.
Right.
So then I thought of like, oh, like dot hack, like that's
Right,
but like technically dot hack, would you call that one? Because these are kids just playing a game, and the dot hack sign was really the only one where the main character was stuck in the game. So I don't know if you'd really call that one.
I mean, for that main character, it could be.
Yeah.
But could you call the show as the whole? That's the point. Because for me, I'm gonna have a hot take, super fresh, super early. I do consider Dr. Stone an isekai.
I knew this was coming.
Dude, we talked about it on the show. He goes from a modernly tech world to the Stone Age. If he got hit by a truck and went to the exact same place, it's an isekai. It's an isekai. But I mean, he got teleported over 3,700 years. He was conscious the whole time.
By rock.
But then he woke up in a brand new world, and he had no way to get home except to build it again.
But he was already home, technically.
Technically, he was home.
True.
It's still the same planet.
Right. So that's interesting. So you have to leave.
Saying there could be like a time aspect to this as well.
It's not just spatial. It could be time. Yeah.
I want to throw more into this, especially like when you're in your same world, you know the entire resources, you know your own world, you know what buildings that's been established. When you're in another world, you have no other idea of what kind of minerals they have. What's this crystal? What's this crystal? What's this magic crystal? Like, what the hell is
people
this?
have magic now, you know?
Yeah, because we have everything with metal, made of different like minerals, ingredients, iron, gold, silver, and that sort of thing. That's made for different technologies. You get that you have a better chance of having access in a Dr. Stone world than you would from in another adventure world kind of thing. That's why I can't really say.
I think you could make the case, obviously. Like you can make the case.
Yeah.
Because
it's
I
will make.
You can make it
is a different world.
Would you consider something an isekai?
I mean, it's a different world, to be honest.
Transported to another world that was almost exactly the same as our own world, like in modern times, the same technology, but it was another world completely.
Well, that's
different.
the thing.
Would you consider that an isekai?
Totally, right?
If they got teleported there, like they reincarnated into another world that was the same as like our current world, but it's maybe slightly different or something like that.
Well, the one that comes to mind is Tanya the Evil.
Yeah, I haven't watched
literally,
that.
I mean, like think about it, like
for sure.
It's got a little bit of Nazi magic in it. That's whatever, but I mean, just a dash. But everything else is kind of an adjacent history.
But it's different.
It does differ.
He died.
He did die.
He died.
Dying is part of the isekai experience. You have to die.
Tanya the Evil and Konosuba, the main character, died.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Slime.
And slime.
Yeah, and slime.
Yes. Yeah, and slime.
And me going to the
Rising the Shield Hero, they didn't die.
He did teleported.
Yeah, but
he just read a book, you know?
Goddamn book.
And that's classically isekai.
So I'm just saying, I don't think like the method at which you are transported to the world really has any bearing on whether you're an isekai or not. I think, what you're trying to distill down to is this basically a completely new world to you, regardless of whether it is the world that you were born on, for instance? So like for Dr. Stone, it is a new world order essentially because, it's not technologically advanced. I think the argument can be made, but I agree with JD. Should you make the argument? I say no.
I shouldn't. And so people in the chat, Just a Saint is already saying, "Oh my God, not this Dr. Stone isekai rant, Ricky again." And this person's heard me rant about it.
Hold
for
on,
sure.
Ricky. So you've done this before?
Yeah, me and him have thought about this for like days.
But I will say, I am going to say Dr. Stone inherently doesn't become an isekai as much as I think it feels that way by merit of name. Isekai, another world. It is not your own world.
But the history is still there within the same planet and world. And when you're in your same planet, you know your history and you know other resources and everything. So you have the advantage right there.
Let's keep rounding people up here. Is Bleach an isekai?
I knew
you're really going to do this. Really going to do this.
I knew you was going to bring that up.
No, because he's like parallel worlds, but he still has his like regular world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It would be like, for instance, if there's a heaven and hell, you would go there currently, and it would still be your same life. You know what I mean?
Your same universe.
But see, that's where things get tricky because you have the isekai that involve in video games. for like let's say Sayo, Bafuri, and different series like that, where they are going to another world, but they can still parallel.
Yeah, like
they go
Overrated.
in and out. They go in and
Oh
they
no!
They go in and out.
I'm not agreeing with the Bleach thing. I'm just saying you have those instances where if you say that, you're opening up this Pandora's box to all these things are now isekai.
Like, what about
the panel? What about the box?
And also, it's not like they like stay there. They didn't like stay there overnight or anything. They just went there to visit and then just came back to their own world after.
Fucking JD is like, by your logic, you're an asshole.
To prepare for this, I thought of one a little bit more stringent on this. What about Rosario Vampire?
Okay, shut up.
You want to go there? Do you want to go there? No, that's not
you're a clown. That's okay, but so like by that logic, right? Like, is Digimon one?
I think Digimon 100%.
I kind of feel Digimon
I'd argue
questionable with that one.
Because Digimon, so in the first season they didn't know how to go back until halfway through.
Yeah.
In the second season they were going in and out, and then in the third season they were in the real world. Halfway through they went to the digital world and then came back at the end. And then the fourth one they go in the digital world and don't know how to get out. So it's like
that's fair. Okay.
They also become Digimon by that time, so
Yeah, they were turned. I don't like it. I don't like Frontier. That's just me.
I like the theory in the chat from Just the Saint where he says, "Is Yu-Gi-Oh an isekai for the Pharaoh?"
Just the Saint, you're putting so many nails in my coffin right now.
Well, he is a 3,000-year-old spirit that took control of the guy that looks exactly like him but younger.
I think he just possesses the Millennium Falcon.
The Pharaoh arc
the Millennium Puzzle.
Right.
It's just a possession. I think it's just a possession.
Okay.
I'm done trolling.
Okay,
no, but Yu-Gi-Oh is a good segue into another kind of subgenre of isekais, which is reverse isekais. Think Devil is a part-timer. A lot of people consider that an isekai.
Yes.
Would you consider reverse isekai still in the same genre, or should it be something else?
Where it's like one person comes to the real world,
comes to your world, right?
Yeah, I still consider that isekai.
I consider that isekai.
Yeah.
Like
We're just on the other end.
Yeah, it's just reverse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what if they aren't the main character?
It's like when I come out of the bathroom.
I mean, like, you're gonna have a main character that's teaching that character from the other world of how it is in this world, how it's established. You don't have to worry about magic and invention. You don't need fire magic. We have a stove, and you don't need to heat up water like this. We could do it this way now. Like, you don't need to.
People,
in other words, our world sucks in comparison to the one you just came from.
The point of isekai is just our world sucks and theirs doesn't.
True.
But I like the idea of the reverse isekai because a lot of those people who use magic and we use tech, they would consider like the stove a fire magical item.
Yeah.
Right.
Or the faucet running water a water magical item. They wouldn't even understand the difference between the two. So I like the idea of it being a different side. We're the isekai world for them. So I just wanted to talk about Devil's a Part-Timer because I love that show.
No, it's a good anime. Like I agree with you there. Yeah, I agree with you there.
It's like the first Thor movie. He's like drinking coffee. He's like, I like this drink. And he's like, just like slams the glass. Yeah.
Bring me another.
Bring me another. Yeah.
So I guess just to clarify, I guess since someone was asking, a reverse isekai would be the person who gets transported to our world isn't really the main character. The main character like finds this person.
I mean, it could be a main character.
And generally, it's displayed that way. Otherwise, it's not really that much different. I guess. You know what I mean?
It's been done before in like
what I was asking is, does it change the show? Like, if it is not the main character that has been isekai'd, like, is it still an isekai? Right?
I would argue yes.
Yeah.
Because the antagonistic force coming from another world makes it not an isekai, but like a fantasy action, right? Because if it's not the main character, you just have an antagonistic force coming through the void. That's not an isekai, yet the mechanics are still the same.
Yeah.
Like something is coming here.
Now here's one. Just a Saint in the chat said, will we consider Darwin's Game an isekai?
No,
because you can argue.
They're technically playing a death game that got created by a guy that's technically their own parallel god. That sort of way.
Darwin's Game, I consider like Junie Tyson, or I consider it like Excel World.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it is in their world, and then like obviously when but when deaths happen, it's like implanting on the world. You know what I mean?
Oh,
right.
So you can't
I'm
make
sorry,
any
it was something in the
sense.
chat.
You see the chat? Yeah, the
Yeah, I
chat.
saw the chat.
What happened?
Same.
Dragon
I saw
Ball.
the ultimate
Dragon Ball
Ball.
top one Isekai.
Stop.
reverse Isekai.
Top
Stop.
one reverse isekai, but it's still the same universe.
Yeah, it's the
Well,
same
I guess
flavor,
it's
isn't it?
not. Shit, I guess it's not the same universe.
Oh dear.
Galaxy.
We need to
One
be
of
stopped.
What have we opened? What have we opened?
Dragon Ball top one.
Hey, this is that Pandora's box I was mentioning earlier.
See, this
Wait,
is why JD is the voice of reason. Ricky, shut up. We're
Never.
now giving the host mantle to JD.
I got the card. I got the
He
card.
does have a
But I will say, isekais get a little messy, but we know when an isekai when we see one. We know a good one when we see one. We know an overrated, and we know an ugly one when we see one. But we're gonna start with the good, folks. What is y'all's favorite isekais, and why is it your favorite? Like, why should other people watch this one if they want to get into the genre or they haven't seen it and should?
Can you guys go first? I got to think about this for a second. I thought about it earlier. I thought about it earlier, but I want to think about my answer a little bit. Just you go. Yeah, you guys go first.
I can start.
Okay, yeah, you can go ahead and start, son. Go ahead.
So for me, it is the Rising of the Shield Hero, not because it was so bigly popular literally last year on Crunchyroll and everybody really likes it in the 25 episode and the first hour episode kind of thing. I read the manga for this. I knew this was gonna be really good. Like I knew people were. I need to know which is the right people to recommend it to, like to get them hooked right away, so they can spread the word. And they knew for sure, and they got hooked. They were really loving it because you could say Shield Hero is one of the first, almost the first good consistent isekai animes out of all the other isekai anime trash, and they just needed someone to know the resources, the back end, to have people to go in and catch on to Rising of the Shield Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also its relatability. There are some real problems in this anime that there is such thing in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people would like it because, especially when the whole the fake rape accusation thing, there was controversy. A lot of people complained. Everybody was getting angry and mad at it. But throughout the episode, nobody said anything. Nobody said anything negative. It was just getting higher and higher in popularity. People start liking it. People were starting to watch it. They made a dub version. Everybody who don't usually watch the Shield Hero and sub, you can watch it in dub version, which is still just as good right now. It's pretty good because it's on its own. And it's been doing a very good job on its own. And just because of its popularity and its success, 2 more seasons. And it's light novel.
And that was instant, right? They immediately said, this is going season 2 and season 3, baby. We're going the length. I think for me, Shield Hero, that was going to be my traditional answer. I have another one, but I mean, that one is so good because it's what if you do have a secretly OP protagonist with the entire world against him? Mm-hmm. Not just like a ReZero style where it's like suffer porn, but literally society hates the guy to their core. Like everyone hates him. So he has to find a way to succeed as a hero while being the villain from the start. Mm-hmm. So that was the hook for me. Like, how is he going to do it? And he dabbled in some unsavory shit, like slavery, bribery. He was good with all of it. What choice did he have?
Extortion.
It's not the traditional like slavery stuff. He did fed them, took care of them when they're sick, and everything.
Right.
Everything. Like, I mean, it's not the traditional way.
In his mind, he thought he wasn't in a real world, so he thought he was like in a game. So they aren't real people to him. So he just wasn't.
That's my exact logic for it. And it's like he's using a mechanic of the game. It's like if you were to go into any video game and that was a mechanic, you would still use it, obviously.
He's just min-maxing. Come on now.
Right.
He's min-maxing. Yeah. So,
he took care of them.
But his life was on the line, too.
Yeah.
His life was on the line. Yeah. I think for me, it's Konosuba. I think watching enough isekais, like, I appreciated what they're subverting. You had the OP who's supposed to be the main superpower like hero guy, but he's a piece of shit, but I love him for it. A fighter of equality, by the way. Yeah. Let's not forget that. You have a paladin who everyone thinks is chivalrous, but she gets off on getting hit. Like, come on. That shit's funny. A god who's useless. These are great ways to subvert that trope. And I love the way they subvert everything so beautifully. So Konosuba, tops.
I mean,
I want to ask though. I want to ask you though. Like, would Konosuba be even better if you didn't watch all these bad isekai animes though? because you have to technically see all these bad
that's a good
isekai
question.
anime in order to see another isekai anime to make fun of all of them and be very successful in comedy from that.
My answer is, would I appreciate it as much? Absolutely not. Would I enjoy it as much? Yes, because it is funny. Yeah. It is like one of the few anime that made me laugh by myself out loud, and it's just a good time. It's just 4 shitty people. It's got that Always Sunny effect, right? It's just like it's like a group of people who are all just not great people getting into situational humor together, and that can be appreciated by anybody, I think.
Sure.
As soon as I watched Konosuba, I called it the Always Sunny of Isekai.
Did you? Yeah. There it is. See? They did it well. And the movie was, the movie was great.
The gang gets transported to another world.
I still have not seen the Konosuba movie, but
Crimson Dawn.
So I was gonna say Konosuba too, and then Sam said, "Would it be as good?" And I'm like, shit. But like, I do really like. I was gonna say SAO or No Game No Life, but like those, those. Okay, so SAO and No Game No Life, they are completely ride on the intense factor. Like, not completely. Maybe No Game No Life does, but like SAO is very like. That's why I really enjoyed it, because it was really intense. It was like. And then, it kind of went down a little bit. And now with War of the Alicization, the intensity has gone way the fuck back up. And it's like, that's why I fell in love with it in the first place. And
I was shocked I turned that ship around, honestly. I didn't expect Alicization to do the thing it did. Like, I wrote it off. And then I was like, I got quarantine time. Why not? And I watched the first part of Alicization. I'm like, where was this all season 2? My God, like where was that?
Remember the love-hate relationship for SAO.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
remember the John Cena again.
John Cena, yeah.
But from everything I was hearing, like that arc was the best in the series, even before it aired.
Right, and it's funny because I'm laughing because of the comments in the chat. Yeah.
Oh, they're going off.
Yeah, Justice Saint said Aladdin best isekai. It's a whole new world. and then the Project Manga account said, I was a boy who was a soldier who was abused, who was a scrunched Pepsi can, and now I'm returning as a hero. Make that happen. I will draw it. I
was laughing at On God. We need Danny DeVito to VA for Megumin.
That would be so bad.
Oh boy.
No,
I'm the trash man.
And then Nick from Anime Summit said, unless they reincarnated as a vending machine or a hot spring, then I ain't interested.
I do know in a Isekai I got reincarnated as a hot spring though, but
are you serious? Is that
I'm very serious. I have the manga. I read the manga for it. It's great.
Please send me that link. I want to read
I got you.
Also me too. Like, hold on.
I got you.
I don't even know if I want to read that.
I'm in JD's camp here.
So right now, though, if I had to say it, though, it'd be Konosuba. It would absolutely be Konosuba. Just because it parodies isekais without marketing itself that way. Because it is just a isekai comedy. That's all it is.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then, and not only that, but even the serious parts of it are still, although comedic at the same time, are still intense enough for you to be like, oh no, like I love these guys. I hope they make it. Like, fuck. You know what I mean? And it's just like really cool. I love all the characters. I love Darkness. I love Darkness. Dude, she's my favorite. Dusty Latina Ford, is that her name?
Dustiness?
Dustiness, yeah.
La Latina or something like that?
Yeah. La Latina, I think.
La Latina, Dustiness Ford. I would. She a freaky deek. I would get in bed.
Yeah, she a freaky
deek. For real.
But I mean,
so along those lines, though, wait, just real quick. Along those lines with Konosuba, what about Overly Cautious Hero? Because I think it was like, it's pretty memey.
Straight comedy too.
Yeah, pretty memey.
That's a sleeper
comedy,
too.
But it was a sleeper pick. I feel like
it's on my list. I haven't watched it yet.
I think
I've watched a couple
fairly
episodes.
solid.
I paused for Cautious Hero, but I do read the manga for it, and I kind of enjoy it, and I'm surprised not a lot of people like it because they're a little bored of the main character, so one-dimensional.
Watch the whole thing; it's really, really, really like sick twist at the end.
that's the thing. Like it wasn't that people didn't like it. I think, like we said, it just went under that radar. I think there's still that idea that, oh, another isekai, okay. And then
Pretty
once you
much.
finally give some of these a chance, you're like, whoa,
That's
all
how I
right,
started.
that's cool. Yeah, that's how everyone usually starts it. I'm surprised no one said slime.
Well, I was going to.
Yeah, that's what
I was waiting for someone to say slime.
Nobody even gave me the chance.
That's what I was about to say. Is JD goes next?
I take it all back.
What a segue! No, it's a perfect segue.
What's the T? What's the T? What's the T? Why is slime good? Tell the people why is slime good.
Slime is good because one, it's funny, kind of like how y'all was mentioning when it comes to it. It is fucking hilarious. Two, he died from a stab wound, and the only thing his last regret as a human was, please delete my computer files.
Delete my hard drive, please.
Taxes 98, please.
Yeah.
I feel it's so messed up that he literally drowned the shit. It's like, wait, what? You didn't need to do all that extra stuff.
Hey, at least he did it. Like like a true friend.
Good bad.
Right, but slime is just a good time. The main character is lovable. The side characters are lovable. The orcs, the goblins, Ghidorah, all the characters are lovable. Even dang, I forgot the girl with the pink hair.
Milliam?
Yeah, Milliam.
Yeah.
I love her. And just I love the story and the way it's going. It even has this, intense moments. It has this low quality moments where it's like, yo, I'm about to make you feel something for these characters. And then season 2 is coming out, which I heard is gonna be flames.
It's dark. Very dark.
Right. I heard it's dark and
Very
the way he grows in terms of power is very twisted as well.
It's awesome though. It's very awesome.
So one thing I wanted to bring up to in a previous panel, there was some dissent about slime from a nameless source that I'll keep for their anonymity's sake. But the rebuttal was they didn't like the show because slime did not have a lot of opposition. There was no conflict from the second half of the first season. Do you still like the show despite that? Because he got really OP, like really OP.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, that's what isekais are. The main character always becomes OP. Like, if you like isekais, you already know what to expect. You're going to expect somebody's going to die either by a truck or getting a stab or a food poison. The main character is either going to start off really shitty and become OP, or he's going to start off OP from the very beginning.
I feel like for slime, they had to go OP first in this first season, and then you have the conflict outside in the second season. Because usually it's always you have them blend together within that one season altogether, and you probably just have like a 13 episode Isekai anime, and you don't have anything more of that. But with slime, there is going to be conflict for that second season.
To be fair, they do show that characters are stronger than him.
Right. That's what I was gonna say too.
But like they need to
also
build it. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. No, I was gonna say they need to build the main character even more OP, especially when you have an entire village. You're Superman, but you have to save the people in your own metropolis city. You can't just be by yourself going
slime
adventure
is
and everything.
the shepherd.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also wanted to say, if it's just anime, I would say slime. But if we're going like manga or anything else, like reading material wise, I would say Solo Leveling.
Okay.
Now, when Solo Leveling gets an anime, Solo Leveling will probably move to my top.
Game over. I've heard a lot of good things.
I'm catching up on it because I had started it and forgot about it, but I was reading it last night. It's crazy. It is one of those OP character things, but it's just done really intense.
It's the way it's done.
Yeah.
Remind me, is it a manhwa or is it a webtoon?
Webtoon.
Webtoon. Oh, so it's got a webtoon. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because the Korean word for manga is manhwa. Yeah. So it's webtoon is a Korean. It's a man-toon.
Yeah.
And,
it's the man-toon.
Last time I checked, like they don't have their website anymore, and they moved to a different platform now for its.
I did a video on it on my channel. If you guys want to check it out later,
I will check it out later.
These are some good picks, y'all. These are some good picks. But for every what do you got?
I was just gonna mention one. You guys mentioned a couple ones that I was thinking about, and from my heart, it would be Bofuri. But I'm actually that's not what I'm going to input though. It's one that I watched most recently, and it's just because it had an interesting concept that was so mundane but still OP, and that's Gate.
They-
No,
Okay.
I heard Gate was really
Okay.
good. I heard
I
good things
vibe.
about Gate.
I vibe. All right.
I haven't. I saw like a few episodes of Game, but I haven't finished it yet. So
I
So
just
it's
like
like-
I just like the
That's
idea
pretty
of
good.
how OP modern military equipment is in a scenario
Yeah.
where people don't have it.
Okay,
It's just
so
like
awesome.
it's so silly.
I loved Gate, and some people hated it because they were like, "Oh, it's Japanese army propaganda." It's like, shut up.
So,
But like,
It's,
so
yeah.
it might be a little bit. I don't know. But like, it was just so cute. Like, it was so
Yeah,
adorable
maybe.
at times. And like the court scene, or not courts, but like the
Senate.
like the council meeting thing where they were like interviewing the Rory Mercury and interviewing, like, making sure, like, oh, did the Japanese Defense Force go over there and just fucking kill all your people?
Right.
mhm.
And then Rory Mercury's like, listen here, bitch. Okay. Like, and she went, homegirl went off. She was like, no. 200 people didn't die. 200 people got saved. And they fought off a red dragon, which nobody could do before. So you're
Yeah.
looking at 200 people died, yes, but you're not talking about the 200 people that got saved.
With
You're being-
armor-piercing rounds.
Right, yeah. She was like, do you know how hard it was for us for people to take down a red dragon without divine intervention? Fuck your
Right.
shit. Yo,
Fuck your
bitch.
shit.
And then she was like, well, you're a little girl. Don't talk to me that way. And she's like, bitch, I'm 1,000 years old.
Grab my face.
That is exactly what happened.
Yeah, and the ending
yeah.
was kind of abrupt and a little anticlimactic, but I loved it. And I hope
Yeah.
I think the manga went further. I don't know, but
I believe so too.
I want to watch more of it, man. I want to see more.
Yeah.
Like,
These are
most of these I would like to see more of.
also
these are great picks. Yeah. what you
also
got?
I will say one more that's kind of niche, and you won't really like it if you're not really. I don't know. It's a comedy one too, but Kimono Michi,
Oh,
That sounds
that went over my
familiar.
radar.
the
Was it-
wrestler. It's a pro wrestler.
Yeah,
He's a-
this
he's
is
a-
the one
Oh.
he was
I don't think
he was
I've
kind of
seen
a
that one.
he was like an outspoken furry, right? And loved that he got he was like he
suplexed the
loved
princess.
animals.
He
Yeah,
suplexed
he
the
loves
princess.
animals.
He was basically the male version of me, just animal face Johnson's everywhere. Loves animals.
Yes.
I love animals. Like I could relate on that. That's why I loved it. But also, like, dude is out here wrestling goblins.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
like-
yeah.
Like, it was
Damn.
awesome. And they were
like
they were-
Attitude Era style.
He German suplexes the princess in the beginning because
Yeah.
he's like, dude, fuck
I
you, man.
love that scene.
Oh,
Oh my
man.
god.
Oh my
Um,
god.
I may need to watch this now.
Dude,
For every
please.
one of these we talked about, there's about 10 others that are bad, but I don't want to go with bad. I want to go with overrated. Which ones
Okay.
do you think are a little overrated and get a little too much hype? And I want to start it out, and I know it might be a little controversial because I think it's good. I think it got way too much hype, but Goblin Slayer. I
Is
think
that
it got a
considered a Isekai?
I thought that was
though?
just a
I-
fantasy.
That's more
I think
fantasy.
it might just be
action
fantasy.
adventure.
I thought there was another world aspect to it,
Mhm.
but I remember everyone talking about it in us forums like, oh, it's a great isekai. I'm like, I watched
not-
it, but it wasn't that great. I mean,
It
but
seemed like it got him.
it's that and SAO season 2. What are
Wait,
you gonna
season
do?
2?
I agree with you. Say season.
When
two.
you say
I-
season 2, you mean Gun Gale and
Gun Gale, yeah.
yeah.
You talking about?
It's
And
the
Mother's
de
Rosario
facto
or whatever.
season 2, yeah.
So
It's-
my take on SAO is Aincrad is good. Alfheim kind of sucks.
Mhm.
Gun Gale was a little better. Then Excalibur was okay. Nobody cares.
No.
And then Mother's Rosario was really good. And Alicization.
Right.
Alicization
Amazing.
is the best one since Aincrad.
How do you guys feel about the side Gun Gale series?
I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. It had
I-
better
it-
story.
It had a nice story, and it was really
Yeah.
cool to kind of see another aspect that was happening in the
Mhm.
same timeline. But
Mhm.
and I like the main character.
Mhm.
Like, she was fucking cool.
She's cool.
Yeah.
She's cool.
I like the
But,
I like the gun element. Keep
I would
keep it swords.
Keep it swords, man.
I
Just keep it swords.
understand. I understand.
I didn't really like Gun Gale Online that much, honestly.
I just love how Kirito went in there and everybody was like, "Grah, grah," and he was like, nope.
True.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Bah, bah. He's like, nope.
I really liked Mother's Rosario though. So
Mother's Rosario
Yeah,
was
Mother's
like,
Rosario was
I was ugly crying. I was doing the face where I was like crying so hard I was gonna puke. I was like,
I mean, that's like more the normal genre I like anyway. So,
But
Who's
anyway.
got overrated? Who's got some overrated picks that you think gets too much hype for what they deserve?
Overlord.
Overlord.
Okay, I was gonna say Overlord. I think season 1 it hit on something that was fresh. You know, the OP villain, and that's cool. And then they really burnt out. Like it just felt. They're on 3 now, right?
Yeah, they're on 3. I just finished watching that like a week or so ago.
I thought they were coming out with 4.
There could be a 4th one, but yeah, there are 3 seasons
coming out. Yeah,
I watched them.
It lost its luster, right?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It did. Like with season 2, they focused on the whole lizardmen and like the old side company villages and that stuff.
Weird.
Yeah.
You lost focus on the Overlord. Like that's the whole
Right.
reason why we're watching this.
That's
anime.
why I'm here.
I only watched the first season. I don't think I ever watched the other ones, and I don't know if that's because I was bored or I don't know. But I do like Ainz.
Don't worry about it.
I love Ainz.
Don't worry. Ainz is cool, but yeah, don't worry about it.
I love that scene where he comes out and he's like, they're finna fight, and he's just like, armor buff, magic buff. Poison over time, poison armor. And he just like adds like a long list. Like you never go to CVS and you get the long
his spell sheet's a receipt.
Long ass receipt. That was what he did. He did a CVS receipt of bucks.
I kind of feel like the problem was so like I didn't hate Overlord, but yeah, I mean it does kind of feel petered out and drawn out. And they end the first season with like a hint at something that's going to happen, and it never happens for the next 2 seasons.
Exactly.
That's true.
Right. The fact,
like he does all this time hyping up and talking about. I don't really want to like talk about spoilers, I guess, of Overlord, but like
it's season 1. I mean,
he's talking about other players that could be in the game, and you never see one.
The thing about
season 4, you gotta wait for season 4.
The end of season 1 to season 4.
Yeah,
come on now.
Bad.
Yeah,
That's bad.
The thing about season 1 was that there was some potential where his own minion servants can go against him because there's establishment of a brainwashing control of other people, including your own men. I would have loved to see so what would happen if Ainz fights his entire loyal servants because they were all brain controlled, brainwashed, and everything. Can he handle it? Like, can he himself take out his own kingdom if he ever wanted to? Not just to say if it's possible, which they kind of made it did when they controlled the vampire girl. Like she had no clue what was going on. She was all in her heavily armored and everything, and I was just like, oh no, I win. I won closely because of all these extra items that I've bought with my real money.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing.
Pay to win, even in Isekai. No,
JD, what you got? You got any overrated ones?
Okay. Now
I got one that'll trigger you. I
got one that'll trigger.
All right.
One of you.
Hit me.
All right.
Hit me.
My overrated Isekai is Konosuba.
All right, I'm out. We're done.
I'm out. I
Shut
threw my
down.
card.
There go the trigger.
Shut it
there
down.
you go. There you go. I feel Konosuba is overrated.
I'm out. I'm done.
Can I ask why?
I don't okay, so everybody's been telling me to watch Konosuba, right?
Okay.
So I watched the entire first season. So
Okay.
I gave it more than a fair share of shots than I do any other series.
All right.
And it never did anything for me.
No, buddy.
I watched it, I was like, I don't
Was
You're
it
letting
was it because of the comedy that you didn't understand where there's so many Isekai tropes everywhere? That sort of
You
thing?
just don't understand
Because I think about Gintama.
Is this Rick and Morty?
Gintama.
right.
Their IQ not high enough?
Yeah.
No, I understood the comedy. It just didn't do it for me.
That's
I get it. I get it.
That's inherent to parody. Parody is very hit or miss. And I love the Exile Saga, and I can imagine a lot of people hate Exile Saga.
I can feel that. I think another one for me, Wise Man's Grandchild.
I haven't watched that.
I didn't even like it. I think
Wise Man
is it
was
popular?
cool. Wise Man was cool with me, but it wasn't amazing or anything. But it was.
I never seen it.
It had some good Sakuga. It had some good animation. But me and Ethan have had this discussion before. And Ethan, you liked it a little more than I did. Yeah. Yes,
yeah, I think there's a potential for an underlying story there. I'm not saying that they did well in the first season at all, but when we're talking overrated, I think it got a lot of play on YouTube because some of the power up scenes were pretty cool.
Yeah.
And some of the powers were pretty sick. but
I can understand that because
yeah,
the
I don't
manga is
think,
great.
as a series. It was good.
I
It
never
was
thought
not good
I never
as
thought it was
series.
that popular.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I had so my channel gets a lot of hate because there's always like one or two people who loves the light novel or manga and starts comparing them both at the same thing and just saying like, oh no, I'm trying to defend this because of this power up. This was not explained on the anime. This was not explained on the anime.
Right.
It was not shown on the anime. Separate them. Separate them.
Yes.
It's
Thank
hard to
you.
do sometimes.
I will take a quick pause to. We have a lot more people in the stream right now. Everyone, just want to remind you that we have 2 links in the description for BLM charity and for COVID charity. We are trying to get as much as we can. If you can't support, I know these times can be tough for a lot of people. Link it, share it, retweet it, do what you got to do to get this out. And this is kind of my unofficial segue into shows that you personally hate, the ugliest of isekais. The ones you really can't stand.
Okay.
The lowest of the low.
I want to go after.
Now you notice
G,
everyone's
I
perking up now.
Because but fuck you, all right.
Here comes the hate train.
Okay.
Hot takes. Let's go.
Mine is probably what everybody hates. In another word, with my smartphone.
Thank you.
I thought that was
damn
the
it. Thank you.
dumbest
I didn't watch that
show
one.
I've ever seen.
When did that air? Which one is that one?
That was pretty old, actually.
It was earlier. It was like near SAO.
I thought that came out during like ReZero.
Yeah, I think that's close.
Yeah, okay. When the boom happened. Okay,
Yeah,
when
when
17.
Hold on, sorry. You
Okay.
keep going. I'm going on now.
Hit it. Yeah.
I read the name and turned around, so
I didn't think. I think it was okay for me.
I'm gonna head out.
The most generic shit, just add a smartphone. That was the
Right.
entire they
It
shoved the harem and it wasn't
okay.
good.
I
The
remember
harem
this
wasn't
one.
even good. It was just
trash. It was trash.
That
The-
harem was not good. I gotta give you with that because
It was
I
just
remember this
horrible.
one. I remember this one.
yeah.
They're like
It wasn't great.
12, 13-year-old girls and so yeah.
This was 2017, summer 2017.
Yeah,
yeah.
it was horrible. Should never been released.
Man,
Pox on the genre.
you know what? I got to do it to him. The chat has been talking about it the entire time. Justice Saint has been saying it. Ari Ferretta is the worst
It's
isekai
not
I've
the
ever
worst.
seen.
No,
Yes,
it is not
it
the
is.
worst.
Yes,
No.
it is.
It is.
Name
No,
a worse
no.
one.
I
just did.
I'll name a worse
I
one
just
right
named
now.
one.
I'll name a worse one right now.
What you
Okay,
mean?
Let's go.
Okay, here we
name
go.
some
Here we
worse
go.
ones.
Okay.
Alright.
So I got a couple things to say about it. Okay, number one, fuck you.
Okay, fine. Come at me, Sam. I'll
Number
scissor
two,
kick you.
Okay, so I wouldn't say Ari Ferretta is like that hype, but I mean it's not the worst. The worst one is, and me and Nick on our podcast talked about it really hard because that's how bad it was. It was literally called Isekai Cheat Magician.
Oh,
Okay.
I know that.
Okay, hold on. I think
I don't
Isekai
think-
Cheat Magician is better. I do. It's not
I fell
great.
asleep
It's not,
trying to
it's
watch
not
this.
great.
You fell
It's
asleep
not
on it?
great.
Do you inhale
Cheat
bags of
Magician
dog
wasn't
poop?
that bad, bro.
It's
He
not.
does.
It's not
Can't
good. It's
confirm.
not
He
Magician
good.
does
was not
do
that
that.
bad.
It's not good.
At least Ari Ferretta had like a fucking cool beginning, like him like
A whole
him-
thing doesn't.
It was one episode was good. Everything else was not. In
Well,
my
that's
opinion,
right, yeah.
The funny thing, like from the manga perspective, I love the manga for Alpharetta, but that first episode literally turned me off because they cut out so much of the great parts of it. Because he literally had the whole Nifumi Shield Hero experience in that first
Yeah, true.
He's supposed to. But then this is not that bad. Honestly, it's
He didn't have a journey.
It got so
Yeah.
much more. It was so much worse in the manga.
I
than
heard the
in
manga was way
anime.
better.
It is way better. Trust
Yeah.
me, it's way better.
Yeah,
Like,
that
I
too.
heard they messed it up.
We got-
Like
we got-
kind of.
But I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad either.
Okay, can I say my bad one? There's a
Go
lot
ahead.
that I'm pretty sure a lot of people went over their head because they didn't even want to touch that shit because
Oh, shit.
it's just like way too far borderline and stuff. It's called
Here we go.
You Love Your Mom and Her Two-Hit Multi-Attack.
I know that
You know
one.
what? You're right.
Okay.
Right.
man.
Okay.
Come on,
You're right.
huh?
You know what? I'll say that's pretty bad. That
Ah,
was
there you go.
That was a little
Is it
over the
worse,
Ah.
sorry,
top.
Fred?
That was
Well,
over
here's
the
the thing.
top.
Someone told me that was good.
All of these in story, I think, are equally as shit. But Ari Ferretta had some of the worst CGI I've seen since Berserk.
It
Like,
did have.
are you kidding?
Ah,
It was
I
so
would agree with
viscerally
that.
bad.
It was
I will
terrible.
agree with
It
that.
was
CGI
eye jeer. I don't know how Justice Sane is defending
Here's-
that animation. It's bad.
He's trolling you. That's why
I know he is. It must be.
I think he's defending just the story, but
so the mom one literally would have been really good if I didn't have to watch that fucking douche kid be a douche to his mom the whole time.
Yeah,
I wanted
show.
to go. I wanted to go in the game, log in the game, go up to him and slap him in the mouth and be like, "You do not talk to your mother that way. Go fuck yourself, you piece of shit. Fuck you, fuck you." She is, first of all, she's amazingly hot. Second of all,
very important.
Thank you.
Second of all, she's really good at this game. So why are you mad?
That's true.
She knows
He's
how
mad
to.
because this was supposed to be his
use
story.
swords. Yeah,
This was
she knows
supposed
how
to be
use
his
swords.
story.
Give me, dude. If they do, give me another anime where it's just her and her party, and I'll watch the shit out of it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I got one that people probably maybe I don't even know if anybody knows this one, and it's kind of a weird nitpicky thing of the reason I didn't like it, but it was really annoying and prevalent throughout the entire show, and it just kept pissing me off. But it's called Grimgar: Ashes and Memories.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It has a really great opening episode, and like
Yeah.
and like the first like 3 episodes are great, and then they keep going to these random like montage scenes where they have this really loud music playing, and it's so annoying.
Yeah.
Doing all these really, and it's like very loud, like it's louder than
Yeah.
everything else in the show. And I just like was watching. I'm like, who redlined this?
Right,
Like
yeah.
it happens like
Who mastered this?
every other episode throughout the entire middle part of the series, and then it gets fine again. But like I was just so angry by the end of it.
But I think the story concept for it was actually not too bad.
The story was great. The concept was great, but it just pissed the production part of it. I've never been so angry at something like that in a series before in my life.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was short.
That fight with the goblin was like so intense. You were like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like, holy shit, it's so good, and it's beautiful.
Yeah,
but yeah, the rest of it is.
Oh, the art in that is like the animation in that show is great. It's like it's so pretty, but they like have someone just was like trying to sell their album or something.
Right.
It's like some dude like listen to my hot mixtape.
Here's this anime by my mixtape. Go to Bandcamp. But like, yeah, no. For me, dude, the worst one, and it really is. I think it's just overrated. I don't even think it's that good. I think Shield Hero sucks.
Really?
I could see people having a lot of problems.
And I thought we were friends. I thought we were friends.
I mean,
JD's face just was like, this bitch.
This yourself. I mean, you're wrong.
I mean,
no, I want to hear this.
I want to hear too.
Yeah.
The whole, squirrel girl slave thing is stupid. And then
she won best girl. I don't want to hear it.
Okay, it's like
Raftalia is mine. How dare you?
It's okay. Like he took care of her. He was nice. Yeah, that doesn't make it okay. Like it's dumb. Like that's dumb. And
I mean, she had her own PTSD, trauma, and all that issues and stuff, and he had no choice. He cannot physically attack.
Yeah, and then the other day I was constipated. So what? You know what I mean? Like I just like I couldn't poop for 2 days.
I have a lot of issues. I have a lot of issues with that show, and they're not quite the same about that. But they do revolve around Raftalia.
Oh, is it the leveling up system? Is it the leveling up aging system?
No. Well, that's.
I was gonna say
I forgot about that, but that one's also a little
little iffy.
I in the beginning I was like, okay, this is gonna be hype, and then I just didn't care. I don't know. Maybe it's like me and maybe it's like JD with Konosuba. I just was like, whatever, dude. I don't really care about your problems that much. Like you're not. I'm not empathetic or sympathetic for Neofumi. I'm just not.
Okay, that's fair. We're gonna have to wrap this up pretty soon, but last 5 minutes ish. Anything we haven't mentioned yet? Wild cards.
Okay. I don't know how we've gone this entire thing. We haven't talked about Ray Zero.
We spoke a little bit about it, but we could talk about.
Yeah, we'll give Ray Zero.
I also just watched this like last week, so
that is true. I don't know, man. Like I really enjoyed Ray Zero, but there came a point where I'm just like, Subaru, what are you doing to yourself, buddy?
Yeah,
he's literally the worst part of the show.
I think that was the point for this show, is that this main character is a piece of shit. But then, like, you literally see him in this entire anime is to see him suffer. It's just basically what.
Because he's like, I'm the main character. I should have sick powers, and like the world should revolve around me. But I think, like, Well, for
Definitely
ReZero,
suck.
they did something very, very well there. Is like they said, no, you're just a normal person in this world. There's still like all this other stuff going on, right?
And the power you have is to die over and over.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's OP.
But he also doesn't use it.
OP.
He doesn't use it very well. There's a lot of situations where
and you
he
feel
could've
the
just,
pain and trauma and
Well, he
that
already
stuff too.
yeah, but he already knows that his day is fucked up. He should just end it there and restart. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing: Sam said exactly why I think he didn't use the power like we all said he would, because he has to feel dying every time he wanted to use his power.
He doesn't really want to die.
Yeah, so
and he dies brutally. That's the
but if you but if you experience pain over a long period of time or multiple times throughout your life, it does lessen the pain eventually.
So
no, it just makes you more numb of the pain, or it's more like you don't give a. It just makes you more darker or soulless or heartless. That sort of way. That's completely different. So the pain will still be there. It's more like you end up either getting so used to it where it's numb, or you're enjoying.
Well, to me, that's the same thing.
So my problem with it is the order that it happens in, because in the first arc, it's understandable, but he also in that first arc, like his first like set, he uses it, like he purposely like resets himself a few times, and then later he's suddenly doesn't want to do that anymore, and it doesn't make any sense.
That's a really good point,
and it like pissed me off. And then he finally does it again, and then I was like, okay, now we're back on track, and it's fine. But there's like I don't know, like, and I understand like the PTSD aspect of it and that kind of thing, but it's just like,
who's Rem?
Yeah, it's
well. They also they did a good job. I feel like that there was a couple episodes in the middle where he just like basically was a vegetable, right, and just like kind of flowing through the world. Yeah, and that was like his numb version. But I mean, there was a lot of different, I guess, arcs within the show that I was just like, "What are you doing, bro?" It just didn't make sense. Or like how Rim killed him in one life, and then he's okay with her like immediately right afterwards. I don't think that's like a human reaction to those situations. If you just got killed in another world by that.
Yeah, especially since he was like so like freaked out like in other times. And like I love that show because like it reminds me a lot of one of my favorite animes, which is Higurashi, and I like that psychological thriller kind of genre, and like it was a nice take on an isekai, and I was like, this is pretty sweet. I was pissed off for a little bit, but they fixed it kind of.
Right.
It was fresh at the time.
It righted itself, and then I was like, okay. All right.
So exactly. I will say that. Sorry, go ahead. Finish.
I was just saying, I'm looking forward to the next season of it. So like.
Oh yeah, me too.
So yeah, and me too. And here's the thing: on our podcast, we did a thing called the ReZero episode where we talked about the whole thing, and we shat on it.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
And hi, Kat.
Hello.
And that's Luna. She also likes ReZero. The thing about it is like over time, whenever they came up in our Discord or someone else's Discord, for some reason I would look back on it, and even the points that Ethan made just now, I'm like, no, I like ReZero. And even though
I like it too, but they were weird points.
Yeah.
It's likable and easy to criticize.
Yes.
Just like
but if I could go back and redo that episode and not shit on it as much as I did, and hop on that bandwagon or whatever the fuck it was going through at the time it aired, I would not do it. I would not shit on it like that again. I think it has a lot of weird points, but there's also a lot of really fucking amazing parts. Like the end credits to the one episode where Felix becomes a god and destroys everything. The way they did that end credit, he's like holding Rem like this, like, oh my god, dude, that scene was fucking crazy.
ReZero hits hard. There's no denying that it gets you here. So I would put it for me in the overhyped category. It's not bad. I just think it gets a lot more credit than it might deserve. When you give it a little analysis, you're like, there's some shaky bits to this. So
I consider ReZero as a SAO where both sides is like and hate at the same time. Mainly because the main character, people hate the main character, but they can love the story of it all. Where you see him just suffering in this entire story and this entire anime stuff.
And then I will say this too: ReZero, again, the way it was executed, it made me keep clicking the next one.
Yeah.
Whatever complaint I had, I was like,
I gotta finish this. I gotta finish the story.
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to mention, another one that we forgot is Around the Pickup Girls in the
So
That's not really a isekai. That's more
I
adventure.
feel that one is an isekai.
So that's what got me started on this train, by the way. That was the first one I watched, and then I was like, "Is
Really?
this an isekai?"
Interesting.
Recent,
Okay.
like the recent ones,
that
yeah.
one is an isekai.
Because I was
Alright.
like, I'm tired of all these animals with weird names. I'm like, whatever. Someone told me this is fine. I'll watch it.
Usually usually the titles with long names tend to be pretty good. I mean, that time I got reincarnated as a slime is a really long title, and it's a really good anime.
So's the end of the world my cell phone, but
very true.
So is Ari Ferretta for Worlds, you know,
yeah, they all have long names.
whatever to World's Strongest.
High School
Boo.
Prodigies, Death March to the Parallel World, Raspberry. Like that's a long title, but it's pretty decent.
I'm genuinely shocked anyone likes Ari Ferretta, but you know what? I respect y'all's
Yeah,
decision.
fair enough.
I do. I respect it. I get it. It's
I'll
not
stick
for
with
me.
my manga. I'll stick with my manga.
I just don't hate it.
I'll just stick
Why
with
does he have guns? Why does he have guns? I'm not getting into it.
Why did they stab a dragon in the ass? That's all I
Why
want
did
to
they stab
know.
a dragon in the asshole?
Why?
Actually,
Hey.
Gate has a really long name too. Actually, because it's called Gate, and then it's called.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's an acronym,
They all have. Yeah, so it's Bofuri too. I mean, everything.
Yeah, Bofuri. Yeah.
True.
Oh, I want to say,
Oh.
shout out to Salamander Red who said JD is going to raise Konosuba to its ugliest category because killed hero slander.
True.
I'm gonna say that I think the anime of the year is going to be My Next Life as the Villainess because that's my favorite anime I've watched this year.
Yeah,
there's no way that's gonna win.
Not close.
It's actually very popular. It's actually very
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna suck.
With the series that's coming out this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, it's so good.
Like a little history with it. The manga supposed to end it early, but there's so many fans for the light novel that it pushed the author to create more series for the manga, and I guess
that's always a good sign.
That gave
or a bad sign.
Like they love the light novel, and that's always a great thing. It's first the light novel, then the manga, and then the anime. So.
Sometimes you get GT. I mean, nothing.
True enough.
It sometimes happens, but I think this we're gonna wrap it up, y'all. Thank you everyone on this panel for joining. This one was super fun for me. I mean, some hot takes, some not. The chat was blowing up with some of our hot takes. I guess more of my hot takes. But
wait, hold on.
Yeah, what you got? What you got?
Luna, what do you think?
Please meow.
I'm still on the Dr. Stones and Isekai thing with you, by the way.
Oh my god! Well, don't bring that up.
I feel like I proved you wrong. I feel like I proved you wrong.
Thank you, everyone currently watching that watched all the way through and participating in the chat. I'm going to say it again. Make sure you all weekend hit the links in every description of every panel and all the gaming stuff. They are for COVID and BLM support foundations, and it would help immensely. And if you can't donate, totally understand. Go like, share, retweet, get the word out, get everyone coming to day 2. It's going to be hype as hell. We got webtoon talk, manga talk, unpopular opinion talk. We got everything tomorrow. So stick around. It's going to be a good time. So thank you, everyone, for coming to this panel, and enjoy the rest of ANITUBE CON 2020.
All right.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah.
Beam us out, Miguel.
Boom.
I don't know if Bash ended it yet, but I'm going to stay here until he does.
If you didn't end it yet, you should tweet at ANITUBE2020 or ANITUBE CON 2020.
We're still going. We're still live, baby.
Tweet at us.
Follow us.
Tweet at us if you think that Dr. Stone is or is not an isekai, please.
Yeah,
do that.
Let's figure this out. Let's figure it out.
Let the audience decide. Call a friend. Ask the audience.
Show my sweet goblet.